Hello and welcome to podcast number 23, day 23 on Discover with Spinati. I'm Dr. Halim Spinati, and today is February 9th, 2024. We are in the leap year, and today is National Pizza Day, but that's not what we're talking about. We're actually talking about something really cool on a Friday that really rings through and true to everyone's minds, and that is the comfort in knowing that things are completely uncertain. Now, when things are uncertain, a lot of us become very anxious and very uncomfortable. And then we want to do something to comfort ourselves, whether it's eating sweets or, you know, alcohol, drugs, do it, watching TV, numbing our brains somehow so that we don't, or actually getting distracted even more on social media so that our brains don't get overloaded, don't get overwhelmed. But I'm going to present a different perspective. I'm presenting a perspective that you should consider so that you can feel comfortable in a realm of uncertainty. I want to mention some things that are very trending right now, such as the Apple Vision Pro. Who knew that Apple, after all these years of coming up with these plans for Apple Vision Pro, finally is going to release it, and they're going to go big with this stuff so that they can actually transform society just like they transform society with their other products. That's one thing. The other thing, Putin and Tucker Carlson's interview. What do you know about that? What do you think about that? There's a lot of things that happen there, a lot of exchanges, a lot of things that Putin said, and a lot of questions that Tucker Carlson didn't ask. And why did that happen? Why did Putin say what he said? That's two. Three, like I mentioned, it's National Pizza Day today, so make sure you eat some pizza. Four, King Charles got diagnosed with cancer. Terrible news. 2 days ago, that he got diagnosed with cancer. He was perfectly fine, as the reports say, completely fine, and so on and so forth. There are so many things happening. The WWE. I mean, I can go on and on with regards to things that are trending right now, but the whole thing as to why I'm starting out with this is because I want to highlight the first point, which is because today's Friday, we have a lot more time on our hands in the afternoon today and then Saturday and Sunday. The majority of us do. And so with that free time, we get very anxious because we don't know what to do with it. And so then our time, or rather our mind, becomes very preoccupied with the current events and things that are happening. We want more drama. And so with more drama, obviously we get more uncomfortable and then we start getting more demotivated. Where am I going with this? With all these events that are going on, the number one thing that I would advise you to do is to understand that you can't control everything. With all the things that are happening, and this is things that are happening and people know about. There are a lot of things in your life that no one knows about, but you know about it. But you have to ask yourself, how much are you devoting your energy, your mental energy, towards things that you cannot control? And you have to ask yourself, this is a really good exercise for you to get into on a daily basis in terms of, okay, well, I'm bothered by a lot of things or I'm unhappy about a lot of things. What part of those things can I actually control? Once you realize that there's very little that you can actually control, you being bothered by things you can't control. For instance, I know this is a very silly example, but still, the weather. Okay, a lot of people get bothered when it's not sunny. It's sunny right now, it's beautiful. But when it's not sunny, when it's gloomy, it's raining, it's cold, people get bothered. People actually experience sadness, they experience bad moods. Why? Because they let that get to them. They let that, infiltrate into their system, infiltrate into their minds, and then they don't allow themselves to understand that these are things that we cannot control, even though it's obvious and it's staring at us. We actually we need to actually think about it so that we understand that we have very limited control over things that happen to us and things that happen for us in our lives. Very little control. Once you focus on what you can control and what you can't control, then the past really becomes nothing. The future becomes a possibility, and then you start living in the present. Focus on what you can control. And besides what you can think and how you can react and what you can do, there's really nothing else that you can control. So rest assured that whatever it is that's happening in your life, categorize it into things that you can control and things you can't control, and you'll realize suddenly that you're focusing on things that you cannot control, and that's what's really bothering you and getting you down. And now, instead of spending time being productive on a Friday, what you're doing is you're being completely unproductive because you're trying to distract your mind from all the things that are bothering you. That's one. Two, when things do bother you, when things are not going your way, because today's Friday, today is the opportune moment or the opportune time. Friday, by the way, Friday afternoon is known statistically to be the least productive time of the entire week, Friday afternoon. So if you're competitive, then I would suggest you take advantage of this Friday afternoon, so that you can become more productive than your competitors, more productive than your competition. And then you can go and then you can inch ahead. If you do this every single Friday and the majority of your competitors are doing nothing on Friday, then guess what? You've gained the edge month after month, year after year, and you've developed yourself much further and faster than your competitors, or even what you think is even possible, because you've been wasting Fridays all this time. Shift back. So the second point, so the first point is focus on things you can control, because you can't control everything. The second point is pivot, because there are a lot of things that you can't control, because there are things that are going to bother you, things that are not going to work out according to how you want them. So the best thing for you to do is to pivot. What do I mean by pivot? Pivot means that when you have something, and you have something in your mind, and in your mind you've manifested it. In your mind you've thought about it from the every angle, but time went by, a month went by, and nothing happened. Or even worse, something worse happened. Your plan not only did it fail, something even worse happened. Fine, it happened. Now what? Pivot. Now look at your situation and then say, what am I going to plan? Because if you don't plan and you forget your goals and you don't pivot, then you're just going to forget about your resolutions at this point. 2024 is going to be like any other year. But I'm telling you right now, with the advancements of technology and the crazy speed that it's going at, things are not going to be the same very soon, because AI and robotics and the advancements in technology is really going to change everyone's life incredibly soon. So that's why you should really take advantage of whatever time you have right now in your ability to change your life before things get really drastic. And then you probably have even less control over your life. If this is scaring you, it should. I'm just saying it like it is. That's what you hear here at Discover with Spin. I don't sugarcoat things. I'm telling you the things that I know. I'm a skeptic. I like things that stimulate my mind. I like to think about things. And this is where I believe, and I think the majority of you are thinking the same thing. This is where the world's going. Step 3. So now that you know that it's National Pizza Day, you have to eat some pizza. That was a little plug for pizza. Step 3 is stay positive. When you have the choice, you have the choice of either being negative or positive. A lot of us see people out there that seem to be always positive, and we look at them, we're like, they look really phony. Why are you looking so phony, man? Why can't you just be real? When in reality, they've chosen to be positive, because in a world where you could be negative, why choose negative? You could be positive or you could choose negative, but why choose negative? It serves no purpose. As a matter of fact, it harms you, and it gives you a disadvantage over your competition. Yes, I always talk about competition, because that's what the world is. The world is a bunch of things competing against each other, and then you have the winners, and then you have the losers, and they have to pivot, and even the winners have to pivot in order for them to keep winning. So it's a competitive world, and that's just the way it is. So think positive. So whatever your Friday is, whatever you are at, whatever state you're in, think positive. If you're thinking negative, switch your mind right now. Like right now, as you're listening to this, switch your mind and think positive. Because by thinking positive, you can actually switch your mind to think more creatively and give you better solutions to your problems. So these are the 3 things for you to take in during National Pizza Day, which is today. 3 things. The last of which is to think positive. The second of which is to pivot. And the first of which is to focus on things you can control. Enjoy your Friday, my friends. Have yourself a good one. And remember to always keep smiling. Have a good weekend.